All right, today I'll be unboxing some of the tools I'll be using for this project as well as some future projects. Let's get started. So for the different toolkits that I picked up, they're all Craftsman brand. The first one I got was a impact wrench, as well as some better batteries that will go with that impact wrench. And in addition to the impact wrench, which was the main thing I needed for the motorcycle project, I got a multi-tool kit. That way I could use the drill and the impact driver. There's 2 saws, as well as a light and oscillating tool. A lot of these tools I probably won't use for the motorcycle project, mainly because they're saws and there's not a lot I need to cut out. I might have to use the oscillating drill though when it comes time to installing the new muffler. From what I hear, it does cut into some of the plastic a little bit, so I'll have to just trim that. The light I could probably use as well, but a lot of these were more for future projects. And I was also at the time considering building a ramp and table that I could drive the motorcycle up onto. That way it's easier to work. I might still do that, we'll see. If not, I'll at least have them for future projects such as set building, background building, for my photography and videography business. Let's get to unboxing these. The first tool I want to go over for this project is going to be the impact wrench. This I got on sale at Lowe's. It was actually buy 2 batteries, get the impact wrench free. So it came out to, I want to say, $100, $150, somewhere in there. You can buy the impact wrench by itself though with a battery for a similar price. I'll include a link to the impact wrench on Amazon down below. That way you can pick one up if you'd like to. Let's get started with the impact wrench. The impact wrench is exactly what it is. It's an impact wrench. This one's a brushless one. It's the RP model. I think that's like run time or run performance or something along those lines. There are 2 modes down here that you can switch between. There is also a light for that. There's your reverse and then forward, and you just switch between them. Having it in the middle has it on safety. For the batteries, there are 2 batteries. One is a 6 amp hour, the other is a 4 amp hour. Both of these batteries, they come with a single charger. The charger just snaps in, plugs in on the top just like that. If the light is flashing, then that means the battery is not full, but it is currently charging. Let me show you the light real quick. So we also have the light on the wrench, which is nice because if you're unscrewing something, it's easier to see what it is that you're trying to get to. Again, there's also the 2 modes that it can switch between. That's the impact wrench. It's a tool. There's not much else to really go through with it. Let's move on to the large kit of tools. The 6 other tools that I got, this box includes a normal drill, a impact drill, a flashlight that is 140 lumens, not that bright, but it'll get the job done. There's also a reciprocating saw. Pardon me, I can barely speak. It is hot and humid in this garage. There is also a circular saw, as well as a oscillating tool. And let's get this unboxed. First thing when opening the box is going to be a tool bag. Feels sturdy, but in reality, I don't want to just toss all my tools in here. They'll be going inside this tool box. Next is just some screw bits, drill bits, as well as the user manual. According to the box, there should be 2 amp hour batteries, so a lot smaller than the ones that I got with the impact driver, but it will still get the job done, and I can use those on all these tools as well. Continuing in the box, we have our circular saw blade, and our other saw blade, the battery charger, the oscillating tools, accessories. It looks like there's a sander as well as some bits, that way you can saw through stuff. Right here we have the drill. It has 23 modes as well as the drilling mode. There's no flashlight down by the battery, but there is a very small one by the trigger. You have your reverse and then your forward modes. You also have a 2 and a 1 mode. There's the light. You can see the light right there. That's the drill. The next tool we got from the top looks like it's the impact driver. I will constantly get impact driver and impact wrench mixed up. Sorry ahead of time. For the impact driver, it looks like it has the same thing, a small light on the front, and then you have reverse and forward. All of these tools do come with mounting points. That way, if you get the belt attachment, they can all mount to a belt. The next tool is going to be the reciprocating saw. The saw, it looks like it does not have a light on it, but hopefully you're working in a very lit area using this saw. It does have a lock mode. Right now it's unlocked, so it will saw, and then a lock mode where it will not saw. So click to unlock and click to lock. The next tool is the circular blade. It does not come with a blade installed, so it's nice and safe. Careful when using power tools. Also, make sure you first read the manuals so you know how to work these tools. I will be going through the manuals off camera after I've unboxed everything. Right now, nothing has blades, drill bits inside them, so that's why I'm feeling comfortable giving you short examples using the batteries. The battery attaches to the back end of the circular saw. There is also a opening on the side, that way you can attach bags. So if you're cutting wood in a closed space, that can catch all the wood chips for you. There's also a lock on the top. In order for it to operate, you have to be pushing that lock down. I'll try and do this left-handed. So it's pressing the lock down and then pulling, and that will operate the saw. There is a protection for the blade when it's on. That way, once you start cutting, I'm only doing this because there is no saw blade in there. As you start to cut the wood, it'll open that way the blade can access it. You can also always do that manually. Just be careful, you don't want to cut off any of your fingers. If there's actually a blade in there, they would be gone. It appears that there is no light for the saw blade. There is a Allen wrench and a screwdriver tool right here. I'm assuming that is, yeah, it looks like that, so that you can remove the saw blade and place in a new one. All right, bear with me. It is not only hot today, but it is humid too, so I'm starting to get drenched in sweat. The next tool we have is the oscillating tool. Let me get the battery for that one. All right, it looks like the oscillating tool has a few modes that you can dial between. Goes from 1 all the way to 6. There's on and off. There's also a light for when it's on. That way you can see whatever it is you are working with. Another cool thing about these nicer, the 4 and 6 amp hour batteries, is there is a button on the bottom that you can press to see how charged they are or not. And our next tool is the work light. That's on. It is not very bright, but if you're working in a dark space, or working in a well-lit area but working inside something, my assumption is this light will be nice, because then you can set it down, set it up against something, that way you can be shining into that area to easily see what it is you're working on. But overall, I wasn't expecting much from this light. It was just a nice bonus. So I've gone over all the tools inside this tool kit. The last items are going to be the batteries And again, those two batteries are significantly lower in power than the two that I got with my impact wrench. These two are 4 and 6 amp hours. This one's the 4 one. There's one behind me on the floor, that's the 6. These right here are only 2 amp hours, so they're half the battery power of these ones. All right, it is bothering me that I had all these tools stacked on top of each other and out here on this drawer. So I'm going to quickly organize them inside my workbench. That way they're put away, and try and set up some sort of good charging station for all 4 of these batteries. I have 2 chargers, which is super nice, and then I have 4 batteries. 2 of the batteries are, again, those 2 amp hours, and then I have a 4 amp hour as well as a 6 amp hour battery that I'll be using. For the drawer, again, I have the top one is what's taking up my mechanical tool set. So these are gonna have to go into other drawers. I would prefer them to slide into one of these shallower ones, but I think at least the circular saw will not fit inside one of these shallower ones, so it's probably going to have to go into a deeper drawer. So I now have the workbench set up with the tools. There's some other items that I still plan on putting inside it, such as screws, nails, and some miscellaneous workbench items. But going down from the top, that's where I have my mechanical toolkit, as well as hammer, some different pliers, small level, as well as those super large bits that I'll need to remove the clutch from the motorcycle. In the first drawer, I have the drills, impact wrench, and driver, as well as some bits that I had previously had. Next bench down, I have my saw, just a hand saw, and then a tool that's gonna help me remove the clutch from the motorcycle. Over on this side, I have all of the manuals for all these tools, as well as the batteries and the work light and a stud finder. Eventually, I'm going to get a power outlet set up on the side of the workbench. That way I can constantly run some chargers, as well as get a setup where I have an extension cord going up the wall and over, because most likely I'll have my workbench on the side of the garage that the camera is currently on. And there's only outlets on this side of the garage, so I'm gonna have a power cord going up and over and hanging down. That way I can easily plug in the workbench on that side of the garage. Below the batteries, I have some sandpaper, as well as gloves and a mask. And in the bottom drawer, I have the circulating saw, as well as the oscillating tool. That way I can use those. They didn't fit in any other drawer. This is the deepest drawer. In the last drawer, that one's empty right now. This is probably where I'll end up putting my extra just hardware, nails, screws, and any other tool stuff that I'll be using on the different projects heading forward. So those are the tools I'm going to be using for this summer project. We have the impact wrench, 6 toolkit, as well as the 2 extra batteries. I'll go through and I'll add a photo of the specs for each of the tools that are being used. So if there's something that interests you, you can go out and purchase either an individual tool if that's what will best serve your purposes, or get the full kit like I did. Again, I'm going to leave links down below for each of the tools individually, as well as the full kit. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see you around next time.